Now, Judah's a really interesting one we'll see in a moment. It says here, Judah begot Perez and Zerah by Tamar. Does anybody know the story of Tamar? Who knows the story of Tamar? Well, Tamar was not Judah's wife, all right? He had 2 children with Tamar, but she was not actually his wife. She was actually his daughter-in-law. Yeah, she was his daughter-in-law. It's a pretty shocking story. If you read Genesis chapter 38, we won't go into it. If you read Genesis 38, there's a story there where Judah he's got 3 sons. In fact, we can just go there. Genesis 38. I won't read it out, I'll just reference things. When you look at verses 2 to 5, you see that Judah had 3 children. The first son he called the second one he called Onan, and the third one he called Shelah. Not a good name if he was an Australian for a son, but they're the 3 sons, right? And so he took Tamar for his firstborn son's wife, to be his firstborn son's wife. But unfortunately, the Bible tells us, as you keep reading here, that was a wicked man and God killed him, right? So then, according to the custom of the day, the idea was, as you keep reading Genesis 38, that the tradition was that you would then give that wife of the firstborn to the next child, to the next son of Judah. And so Judah did that. He was faithful with that. He allowed her to marry his second son. But unfortunately, he was an evil man, and you'll have to read the details. There's a bit of detail there we probably won't bring up right now. But there's a bit of detail there. He was an evil man, and God killed him too. And Judah got a bit worried. Judah started to think, well, this woman's married 2 of my sons, and both of them have died. I've got 1 left. For men, having a son back then was a big deal. If you don't have children, you've got no heir, you've got nobody to, look after you when you're older, you need children. It was a big deal. You need especially male children back then, right? So he didn't want to give. He said to her, look, I'll give you my son later when he's a bit older, But Tamar could see that she wasn't going to be able to marry this 3rd son. And so she actually dressed as a prostitute, masked her face, and Judah went and slept with her and had children with her. And there's a whole story there. And out of that relationship came 2 children, and they are the 2 mentioned in the genealogy of Matthew.